New acting challenge, wet me. You are the blue line.
I don't want to talk anymore. Okay, I'm done.
Stop. You can't just quit when something gets hard, okay? You have to at least try.
It starts to get hard. Are you kidding me? Do you realize I robbed those innocent people for you? No. Yeah, I got nothing. Not a single cent. I trusted you, and you stabbed me in the back like everyone else. Hey, I'm just having some fun in my truck. What are you doing, huh? What are you doing tonight? You having fun too? You having as much fun as I'm having?
Hi there. I kind of like these new teeth. They're kind of, big and stuff. I don't know.
That Trucker John, he's really good. You ought to go check him out. Tuesday, Thursdays, usually in the morning, about 9 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
I did it again. I did it again. Okay, guys, what is going on with this? And I said some really lovely things about you guys. I said some really, really lovely things about you guys. Anyhow, all I was saying basically was good morning. It's March 26th. The month is going by really fast. Can't believe it. I was just saying hi to all y'all, basically. So good morning to everybody. Pisces Greedy is here. Hey, Pisces Greedy, I can see you. That's always a good sign. But yeah, I was saying hi to Jackie. Jackie was the first one in. I was saying hi to WW and to Fancy and Mr. Spock. Jolie, I was saying thanks, Jolie, for being... Well, I said for being my back. I mean, I meant to say having my back. apparently it is Fancy's birthday. So happy birthday to Fancy. Let's see, do I have a Fancy happy birthday thing in here? I don't know. Let's see. We might have something here for birthdays. Let's see. I don't see anything though. Hey, what's this? Let's see what this is. I don't know. I think that's for happy birthday. So this is for you, Fancy. Happy birthday. I'm not sure if I'll wear this for the rest of the show or not, but for the foreseeable future, this is for Fancy. Happy birthday. HBD. Let's see, what else we got going on here? Glad to share it with the trucklers. Hey, Jeannie's here. Hello, Jeannie. Good to see you. I think, hopefully you guys can hear me now, right? You can hear me now? Trucker John, no sound. Mr. Spock Focus, no sound on Twitter either. Hey, Tim Yak. Well, hopefully you can hear me now. WW, I can hear it, but very soft. Really? Focus. Fix the sound and start over. Ask says, interesting. WW Fowler's Wrath. What about Fowler's Wrath? Bishop Spock says, use your Schwartz, John. Muted. You are muted. Now, I'm not muted now, right? I should be on. Mic is on, so. That's just how far back I am, I guess, here. Vice Greeter says, hi. Okay, yeah. Start over. Silly Goose says Jeannie. Pice Greeter hugs to all. Pice Greeter happy birthday to Fancy. Ash says that works. Fancy says, yeah, I love it. W is singing happy birthday to Fancy. Marie G and Greco is here. Hello, Marie. Good to see you. Fancy says, thanks. I love you guys. W says, hi, Teresa. And Fancy says, I hear you fine. Okay, yeah, so you guys can hear me now. You can hear me now. You can hear me now. Okay, so anyway, happy birthday to Fancy. And I might shut this off because I did get it. When I turned this on, this little warning thing popped up that said, like, okay. It said there might not be enough memory or something like that. So, anyhow, so here we are. It's March 26th, as I was saying, when I was muted. I don't know. And here we are. Now, in the background, we have the Tropicana. Here it is over here. I have to remember, everything's kind of backwards. This is the Tropicana Hotel. It is coming down. The last day is going to be like in a week. When is it? It's going to be less than a week. It's going to be April 2nd, which I think is Tuesday. So it's a week from today. They will be closing the Tropicana for good. And it's been around since the 50s. This place. Excuse me while I eat. I think 56, something like that. They're just closing it down, which I think is kind of sad because I've stayed at the Tropicana a few times back in the 80s and 90s. It was a really nice place, man. And then the thing got sold. It's been bought and sold a few times. And the latest owners, I think was it Hyatt or something? They just sort of ran it into the ground. Oh, speaking of running things into the ground, I'll explain. If you saw on the show card, there's a little picture of a hat that says Rega on it. I'll explain that later. They basically just, I don't know, it just went downhill. and now they're closing it. And it was planned to be closed even before all this talk about putting a baseball stadium there. This is where the Oakland A's, if it all goes through, and I say if because at one point it sounded like a done deal, and then it's sort of been wavering back and forth, and so I don't know, but if the Oakland A's move to Vegas, they want to build a baseball stadium right here where this hotel casino, this sort of landmark, really kind of iconic hotel casino is, in my opinion, anyhow, and a lot of other people's too. They want to, but this was scheduled to be torn down even before that, so this was going to come down anyhow. But now they want to build a stadium here, and plus a new hotel, and try to get parking. I don't know how they're going to do this on this, the whole acreage, I think, is only like 10 acres or something like that. So anyhow, but the last day for the Tropicana is going to be April 2nd. That's when it's closed. And then at that point, they're going to start demolition at some point. I don't know how long that's going to take or the exact schedule of it. People are wondering, are they going to do an implosion? Because people like the implosions because they're cool to watch. But they're saying they don't know. Nothing's really been said one way or the other, but it's been reported. I've heard people say that they probably won't do it, an implosion, because right behind Tropicana is the airport. And so it's kind of close to the airport. And plus, it is right across the street is MGM Grand, Excalibur, New York. They're right across the street. I mean, like, this is the corner right here. And there's like MGM Grand. So I don't know. It might just be too close to everything to do an implosion. I don't know. But so they'll probably just do the old-fashioned wrecking ball type of thing, I guess. But, so that's why I got the Tropicana on here today. Tropicana. Just sort of saying goodbye to the Tropicana. Now, as far as Rega is concerned, look at this. Look at this bad boy. Let's see, can I? Now, I didn't really talk about this on Saturday's show, I guess. Well, maybe I hadn't done it yet. Maybe it hadn't happened yet. But we got to over 4,000 hours, watch hours in the last year. So that puts me at this other level now where I can start doing merchandise. I can sell hats. I can sell stuff. So I went on this one on the spring or whatever. And I just for shits and giggles, I designed this little hat. It took like 2 seconds. And the reason why, here's the history behind this hat. But it says Raiga, R-A-I-G-A. It's just a joke. I'm not even probably going to sell these. I don't even know how. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the merch thing onto this page, onto my channel. So I'm still way behind. But the other day, I was a couple days ago, I was on Facebook, and one of my Facebook friends, who I didn't really know in high school, I think he was a couple years ahead of me. But yeah, they had this big class reunion. It was basically from. It wasn't just 1 year. It was like how'd they do it? It was like 69 to 79 or something like that. Because a lot of people are just dying off. To be quite frankly, I don't think if you just did the class of '69 reunion, you might only get like 8 people to show up. So they did this one. It was 69 to 79. And it was right here in Vegas, and I ended up not even going. I should have went. I feel bad. I probably should have went, but I didn't feel like going, I guess. And so they had all the classes from 69 to 79, and I was class of 79. Anyhow, so they have this Facebook page for the reunion, and he posts stuff on there, and he posted this picture. I guess he's in Vegas right now. I guess he's in town, or maybe he was over the weekend. And he had, I don't know where his hotel was, but he had from his, I think it might have been, I don't know where it was at, but from out of his window, he could see the Trump Hotel. There's a Trump Hotel here in Vegas. And it says Trump on the side, and he took a picture of him out of his hotel window looking at this Trump Hotel, and his caption was something like, I don't know, it gives him a good feeling every time he looks at the building, every time he sees the Trump name or something like that. And then there was some other people that said, yeah, I love Trump. There's another girl that lives here. Oh, she's a lady. That I went to school with. She posted something like, yeah, every time I drive by it, I, feel happy or something like that. These are Trumpers. These are maggots. And then somebody else said, yeah, this was another guy named Randy I played football with. He said, yeah, I don't really like the stuff that comes out of Trump's mouth a lot of times, but still, I miss having him as president. So, you know, this kind of shit, right? So then I just couldn't help myself, because I usually try to stay away from politics on Facebook. But yeah, I just said something like to Randy's post. I just wrote something like, "Yeah, I really miss COVID," and then I also wrote. Oh, then Ted, the guy the original poster, had to write some kind of nonsensical thing like, you know, this is a whole country, and I forget this. I probably should have screenshotted it. And then he said something about, and even Hispanics like Trump or something, and it was just kind of a weird thing. So then I responded, yeah, this is a whole country, and I don't know what Hispanics, I go, there's probably plenty of Hispanics who are liberal and lefties too, you know, so I don't know what that has to do with anything. You know, and then of course a couple other people have to pile on, they're like, I get a lot of angry emojis from my posts, which is, you know, whatever. And then somebody, just this morning I saw somebody put F for fool, I guess because my last name is Fowler and it starts with F, so they put F for fool. And so then I responded, yeah, F. I go, yeah, that fool, that pretty aptly describes the Trump supporters. Anyway, so anyhow. But, oh yeah, the Rega thing, well, part of my response was, yeah, it'd be great to have Trump back in office so he could run America into the ground again. And then I said that should be a good hat. I go, it's not quite as catchy as MAGA, I'll admit, but that might be a good hat. So then when I was playing around in the little store, I designed this hat, Rega. So it stands for Run America into the ground again, is what it stands for. It's just a joke on MAGA, you know, basically. Not a very funny joke, apparently, but that's a joke nonetheless. But eventually I'll figure out how to do these stores, and maybe we can get a merch shelf, I think they call it, on my channel, and we could actually get something Trucker John-ish or Truckler-ish or whatever for hats and coffee mugs and t-shirts. And right now, you notice I'm wearing my Bruce Springsteen hat proudly, because I went to Springsteen. For those of you that don't know, I went to Springsteen concert on Friday. And I'm going to wear the hell out of this hat. I love this hat. This is my new favorite hat. I've been wearing it all around town proudly. As I Uber drive, I've been wearing it. Anyhow, so as I was gabbing, I was pretty much ignoring the chat. But you know, I can't talk and read the chat at the same time. So there's got to be some give and take there, guys. WW says, I might have been hearing the radio upstairs. I was not sure what screen name you were using. I'm using them all, baby. I'm using them all. Let's see here. A little bit of Vegas history. MJ Daniels here. Thanks for being here, MJ. I don't know, people talking about taxes and stuff. I'd stick with the one you're wearing. You know, so you don't like my Rega hat? Like I said, this is a joke, man. Does Rega equal Rage Against Invisible Gray Aliens? That's a good one. I was going to ask you if Trump Hotel is still standing. Yeah, it's still there. I think it's just kind of funny how these maggots, they actually, every time they drive by it, they pop a boner, you know? I'm just looking through the chats. I don't have time to read every single one. I mean, not that I don't have time, but it's just, you know, I'll be so far behind. WW says, sounds like you're chatting with the same folks I battle with in the morning to wake up. Poorly educated. Well, here's the thing. They're not poorly educated. Are these the ones that I was just talking about? You know, Randy and Ted and Cindy and the other ones. Well, I don't know them, but I know Randy and Ted and Cindy. They're not poorly educated. They're pretty smart. I remember Randy in high school. He was a football player, but he had a pretty high GPA. I mean, it wasn't 4.0, but I think he was like in the 3.9 range. And I remember him being in like calculus and maybe trig, and probably he was probably getting A's in those classes, and I was barely passing intermediate algebra. I can't even say it. Intermediate algebra. So I guess I always when people are really good at math like that, I always put them in high esteem because I was so bad at math. So, I mean, I know that they're not stupid people. They've got successful businesses, and I've seen their lives. They've got really good lives going. So they're not poorly educated, but they've fallen for Trump, man. Head over heels. It's just weird. It's really, really weird. MJ Daniel, MAGA is a bad joke. Eileen Kaw, Jolie. Hello, Eileen. Good to see you. Trump. Tim Farrell says Trump steals from the poorly educated. Michael McAndrews. Hey, Mike. Good to see you. Nice hat, John. This one or this one? No, I know this one. This one's the good one. I like this one. Made in USA, by the way. 72. I guess her cat died. So sorry about your kitty. It's sad when our pets die, that's for sure. WW still has a radio running somewhere. Mr. Spock says, have you been in an auto accident, Trucker John? Do tell. I have not. Do I look beat up? Do I look all bruised and beat up or something? Or do I look injured? I have not, so I do not know what you're talking about. WW says, since World War II, the U.S. has been the richest nation ever on Earth. I could believe that. I know we are now. I know we have been for a long time. So, Eileen, California says, I like it better when you talk. I'd like it better when you talk. Okay. WW says they went to the same school I did, laughing out loud. WW says took all gym classes. Jackie says be right back. All right, we'll be here. Be here for a couple hours, I guess. MJ Daniel says they know exactly what they are doing and what DJT stands for. They are just selfish, bigoted, and cruel people. But if you call them that, they would say, you're fucking ridiculous. I am not selfish. I am not bigoted. I am not cruel. And then they would say, you're just name calling. You have to resort to name calling. That's what they say. They pull that shit. Hey, Alvin Stube. Sorry about my reading is bad today. But hello, back at you. Michael McAndrews, I like the hat you were wearing. Well, thank you very much. I like it too. I had a great time at the concert. I love that. I'm glad I went to see Bruce. I'm really glad because I probably will never see him ever again. If I do, it's not going to be probably not going to be the big full-on E Street Band like he did. I really think this is his last hurrah with the E Street Band and going on these big world tours. I could be wrong. Who knows? But he's 74 years old. So and it just feels like this is like his sort of swan song, I guess, with the E Street Band. That's not to say he's not going to keep performing. He'll probably still perform, but it's going to be, I think, a much scaled down, stripped down type of, tours or whatever you call it. So it was really good to see him. WW says athletes at my high school could take 2 gym classes a day, last hour to prepare for varsity sports. Mr. Spock says, I meant in your lifetime. Yeah, I've been in a few wrecks. Yeah, I've been in a few. Both before I was a truck driver and during the truck driver, and, I don't like to talk about it. I feel like it's just, I don't know. I feel like you're tempting fate or something. I don't know, maybe I'll talk about it. I mean, there's nothing fortunately, no one was seriously injured or died in any of the wrecks that I've been in. Although they were pretty hairy. I guess I'll talk about it. I had one, this is back in 1994. I believe it was the day after the LA earthquake, the Northridge earthquake. And I was driving. I had a little, I think it was a Geo Metro or something. Small little car. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she had a daughter, a little 4-year-old girl in the back seat, who was buckled in. I don't think I had a car seat. I don't think in those days, I don't think she had to have a car seat. I think she was just turning 5 or something. But anyhow, she was all buckled in. We were all buckled in. I took my eyes off the road for a second, and then, because me and my girlfriend were kind of like messing around, like goofing around, being goofy. And I took my eyes off the road, and I swerved, and I looked back, and I was going off the road, and then I just overcorrected, took the car in the other direction, and then I kind of like overcorrected back, and I kind of did one of these kind of things. And we're just doing like about 55 miles an hour. If it'd been going faster, who knows what would happen. But I ended up going into this sideways kind of a slide. And then it's sort of like the wheels just sort of caught under the road, under the pavement. And then we rolled, and we only rolled one time. So that's why I say, let's say, what if I was going 70 or 80? We might have rolled multiple times. And the more times you roll, the more the car crumples, and the more chance of the occupants being hurt really bad. But fortunately, we just rolled one time. And you know how they say stuff happens when shit like that happens? It's like in slow motion. It was in slow motion. When we started to roll, it was so funny because I had been kind of fighting with the car and trying to get back control of it. But at some point, as soon as it started to roll, I just knew there was nothing I could do. And I kind of just let go. And I just totally relaxed myself. I don't know how that came about. Here we are, you're in a roll, the car's rolling. And I just felt like, okay, I need to just relax my body. Like, I can't fight it, I have to just go with it. And it was just sort of this instinctual thing. And as we're rolling, it was literally like slow motion. It was really weird. So we did a roll, and then we landed it back on our wheel, all 4 wheels. And the car was kind of fucked up and everything. And the little girl in the back, her name was April, she was just crying, really just scared. And the first thing we did, me and Ronnie, we looked back, and we see that she's fine, she's just really scared. And then so you're kind of evaluating what happened, where you're at. And I had one little cut on right here on my thumb. It's kind of a scar. I think the scar's gone away now. I used to have a scar right here. And I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm looking at Ronnie. Are you okay? Are you okay? And she was kind of dazed. She ended up having like a concussion or something. Because actually, when we rolled, her head, the window shattered, and her head actually came in contact with the road for like a brief second or two. And so anyhow, we were out in the middle of the desert, but there was a house kind of across the street. It was luckily, and they heard the screeching tires, and they all came running out. It was this family. They all came running out, and they called 911 right away. And literally, we're out in the middle of the desert. I mean, out in the middle of nowhere. And it was pretty fast how the ambulance got there within like 10 minutes. It was really kind of amazing. So anyhow, we get April out of the car, and she's just like mad at me. She's like, I hate you, or whatever, like, you don't drive that way, you don't drive that way. It was kind of funny. But she was really scared, so we're just kind of calming her down and I'm looking at my girlfriend. I'm kind of looking at her head, and I don't think she might have had a slight little cut in her head, but she had, glass in her hair. We all had glass. We were all kind of covered in glass. So anyhow, we just the ambulance comes and takes us to the hospital. And Ronnie was just, they took her in for observation, and they kind of, got the glass out, kind of cleaned up everything. And then, she was released that day, So we were lucky. I mean, no no real serious injuries like, or that. So I did that. That happened. That was in 1994, I think. And then I had a truck wreck. And I've got some pictures. Maybe I can find some pictures and put it on here. But this was in probably about 14 years ago, I think. But it was a 2010, or maybe in 2011, 2012, something like that. And I was up in, I think it was Modesto, California. I think it was Modesto. Or Merced. I always get those M's mixed up there. But anyhow, I was on this street, and there's this industrial area where I was making a delivery. And the speed limit there on that street was 55 miles an hour. And I had a really heavy load. It was a really heavy load. So I'm just kind of cruising through at about 40 or 45 miles an hour. And I have a green light. There's an intersection, cross street. So there's an intersection like this. And I've got the green light. But I'm sort of checking the cross traffic. And I see on the cross street, there's like a line of traffic because they have a red light. And there was kind of like a big line of traffic all lined up there. But they're just sitting there. And so I go through the intersection. And then, bam, out of nowhere, from the other side of that line of traffic, this lady, for some fucking reason, just blows through the intersection. Fucking blows right through it. Right in front of me. Nothing I can do. I hit my brakes as fast, as hard as I could. And she goes right in front of me. And the front of my truck, like, just sort of like clipped like the rear right quarter panel of her car. And actually it got the side door and everything. And it just sent her car spinning and into a telephone pole and kind of wrapped around the telephone pole. And then I kind of just rolled straight through the intersection a little bit. And then I stopped, I get out, I run out. A bunch of people, the witnesses, they all run out. Someone called the cop, they called 911 or whatever. They were there within, God, it's amazing how fast they can get there. It seems like less than 5 minutes. CHP, which is the California Highway Patrol, and the fire department, they were there, like boom, boom, boom. So anyhow, everyone's running over there, and the driver, she gets out of the car, and she seems fine, but she had a female passenger, who was kind of like trapped in the car. And because that's the side that I hit. And then when it got wrapped around kind of hit the telephone pole, that's what crushed the door kind of in on her. And she was kind of trapped in the thing. But fire department was already there. I mean, I was barely out of my truck and the fire department was there. It was amazing. And so they're doing the whole like Jaws of Life thing and getting her out. And I'm giving a report to the CHP officer of what happened. And I had so many people, so many great people. They came up and they backed up my story. Because I said that I had a green light. I didn't even see her. She came out of nowhere. She came out from behind these cars that were that were, lined up on the waiting at the red light, and she just went around them, and I didn't even see her until she was in front of me, basically, and there was nothing I could do. And person after person after person came up, and they backed up my story. They're like, "Yep, she did it. She ran the red light," and they backed up my story. So, and my truck was still operable, and I had a delivery about 2 blocks down. And so after a while, I was watching him. I'm like, "So you guys need me anymore?" And he's like, "No, you can go." So I went ahead and finished my delivery, even though I had a busted headlight and the grill, the front grill was all fucked up. And after I did deliver, there was a Schneider Operating Center nearby. I took it there, and then they shut the truck down because they examined it, and they found out that the motor and the whole front, kind of where the motor's connected and everything, it all got pushed back like 2 or 3 inches or something. So that truck was totaled, even though it was still drivable or whatever. But so that happened. Anyhow, so you want to know about wrecks? That's a couple of them. So let's see, what have you guys been saying? There's Big Hook is here. Thanks for being here. Morning brunch with Trucker John. We got Wendy S is here. Thanks for being here. Tim Farrell says Republican assholes intend to grift again. There you go. Yeah, just keep them coming. I was just like, thought I'd play around with it, Big Hook says, hey, we're the monkeys and we're just monkeying around. Hey, we're the monkeys. Suzanne for recipes here. I'm eating breakfast now. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to you. WW says, came over a hill through the snow. At the bottom was a car parked in the middle of the road. I slid right into it with my girlfriend in the passenger seat, taking the biggest hit. Big Hook, Price Reader, I am good. There's Philly 3000. Hi, everybody. I was watching that boat crash into that bridge. I didn't see that. Philly 3000, Trump is making crazy speech, bragging, laughing out loud. He's a crazy person. Wendy S says, I'm so trumped out lately. Him getting the amount halved and extra 10 days pushed me over the edge, I think. I couldn't even watch Hal yesterday. I know that upset a lot of people, and justifiably so. But look, he's gonna. I feel really confident Trump's going down. Financially, he's gonna get wiped out financially, and he's going to. I think he's gonna at least get sentenced to jail. I know people say he can't go to jail because of Secret Service detail and all that stuff. But he's going to at least get sentenced, and he's going to at least be on some sort of home detention or whatever. He's going to be ruined, I think, financially and politically within the near future here. So, fret not. Michael McAndrew says, right, Wendy, yes, but we need strength to get through this. Eileen Call says, when you said, same here, I really tried, had to leave the stream. I'm sick of 45's voice, even. I know, isn't it just, it makes your skin crawl, just hearing that guy. We're so sick of him. And that's just funny. These Rega people, or MAGA people, my MAGA friends, I swear to God, they get all warm and tingly when they see the Trump name on the side of a building. It's just weird. It's weird. It's really fucking weird. I don't get it. I just don't get it. The guy creeps me out. It's the same way with W. I couldn't stand W either. But Trump is like a million times worse than W even. And W was a fucking turd. And I don't mean WW. I mean, you know, Bush. Let's see here. WW says, I just want him to go away. If everybody just ignored him, he would. But that's the thing. There's the media, the major media is not ignoring him, I guess. But they are kind of, actually, you know, it does seem like they are kind of jumping ship a little bit. They are, you know, like, you know, even Hal was showing some clips where, and I think even like Randy Rhoads and stuff was showing clips of, you know, like Fox News is actually like kind of breaking away a little bit, you know. Arlene, California, president is speaking about bridge collapse now. Rose Blake says, I'm just learning the whole rap world is pushing for Trump. That's a lot of people. And that just goes to show how stupid rap is. No. Now all the rappers are going to be against me now. Let's see. Fancy says, I think he will try to escape. Yeah, I was wondering that too, how much of a flight risk he is. And if he has, you know, something planned to get away to. And I'm sure the FBI and law enforcement is all, you know, I mean, they're probably watching him like a hawk. You know, so I think if he tries to get away, I think he's going to fail. I think he'll get stopped. Suzanne says, and the scrotum court is going to outlaw abortion pills. That's why we need to vote. Everybody, we need the big blue tsunami so that we can get control of the courts again. We can expand the court if we have to. And we can get these things as codified in the law. Let's get abortion codified, whatever, into law. Let's get these things legalized instead of this vague thing about privacy. You know what I mean? MJ Daniel says, build a wall around Mar-a-Lago. I bet we could get Mexico to pay for that. Robert Perpont says, John, you haven't seen the Francis Key Bridge in Baltimore collapse because a cargo ship hit it. It's a disaster. People still missing. It's a bad scene. Last night when I got home, I guess it was last night, because I went and did a couple hours of Ubering, but when I got home it was about 12:30, I guess, whatever it was, 1 o'clock. And I just saw a YouTube video where it said bridge collapsed. And then when I clicked on it, it was just a live feed, but it wasn't really showing anything. It was just showing like a street or something. So I knew that there was a bridge collapse, but I haven't watched it. I don't sit around watching TV, so I just sit around watching YouTube, I guess. But no, I haven't really watched anything since last night. Other than an episode of Poker Face. I watched one episode of Poker Face and then I went to bed. And then I woke up and I just started doing this. I'm fresh out of bed, guys. This is me fresh out of bed. Rosebank says, I think he doesn't have the backbone to leave the country. And he would have to go someplace, I guess, that doesn't have extradition. Maybe, and I don't know if the Saudis do or what. Because if he went, where's he going to go? Maybe Saudi Arabia? Maybe Russia? I don't know. You know. Where can he go? You know. Don Shepard. Hey, Don Shepard. Thanks for being here. It says, Brando says it's reverse Robin Hood, a.k.a. reverse Jesse James. Is that Tennessee Brando? I think I was listening to him. WW says, we love to hate him or something. I don't know. MJ Daniel, and the cult love for DJT is creepy as fuck. It is. It's weird. I don't get it. I mean, it's one thing to say, yeah, I like the guy's policies or whatever. But these people, they just get all warm and tingly, you know? Philly 3000 says, I was watching that boat accident on Fox 5. It is already talking about conspiracies, that whole bridge collapse with people on it. I don't know. We'll see. Let's let the, let's let the story play out. We'll see, and we'll see what it's about. WW says the boat called in that it was disabled, but that could have been employed to destroy the bridge. Robert Perez is here. Hey, Robert. It says, top of the morning to you, Uber Johnny. I think Trump is the Antichrist. Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard that one going around. Whatever he is, he's disgusting. I'll just leave it at that. Marie Giangreco says, I think that Trump is going to be just fine in the end. I'm afraid that nothing will happen to him. Everything will get excused. Pardon my pessimism. I see it as just the opposite, Marie. I think his time has run out. I think all of his good luck has run out. All of his stall tactics, his ability to just keep pushing things off. I think it's all gonna come to a crescendo. All these charges, these 91 counts of felony counts, all that stuff, it's all gonna come to a head. It's all gonna be this crescendo. It's all gonna come crashing down on him. That's how I see it. I don't think there's gonna be a good end for Donald Trump. I don't. He's gonna end up penniless and in prison, and if he's not in prison because people say they can't, for some reason, we're the greatest, richest nation in the world and we can't figure out how to make a prison that we could hold Donald Trump in. But whatever, he's going to be penniless and in some sort of arrest for the rest of his life. Which is probably good for him because otherwise he's going to be under a freeway overpass in a cardboard box because he's going to be broke. Suzanne Furisepi says the NTSB will order drug tests for all crew members, including the captain, possibly the construction workers too. WW says rap is here to stay, Rose. It will just fade out a little as something else takes place. Trump's not smart enough to have a good bug out plan. Yeah, I was wondering that too, but I don't know. Suzanne, I like old school Run DMC, things like that. Rose Blake, of course, Joe caused the bridge's collapse. Terry Taylor, hey Terry Taylor, thanks for being here. Says, hey TJ in chat. Yes, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which my husband drives over quite often, was collapsed by a cargo barge slamming into it. Well, that is really weird. That is weird that a cargo barge would slam into it. WW says Nixon tried to redeem himself after he resigned, made him look a little like a caricature of himself, sort of silly. Well, Nixon was a drunk and also a fucking weirdo. Philly 2000 says, I don't have regular TV. Only YouTube. Tim Farrell says, I saw an interview with Neil Young. They asked him what he thought of rap. He replied, I don't know. Short for crap. I appreciate some rap, but it lacks music, so I feel it is a separate art form. I don't want to speak in generalities. So I don't know when people say the rap community is supporting Trump. I don't know what the rap community is. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know what that's being based on because maybe a couple of rappers they like Trump because they think he's gangsta. I don't know if that translates into a bunch of votes. You know, I wouldn't be worried about it in terms of votes. Eileen Call says, no FBI states, no terrorist connections. So that's good. Terry says, no conspiracy about the bridge. It was an accident. Don Shepard says, in my opinion, not an antichrist, or not antichrist, too fucking dumb. Yeah, I would think the antichrist would be very intelligent, right? Tim Farrell says, prophecy says Antichrist will deceive millions. Maybe he's deceptively dumb. Marie says, I hope you are correct, John. Well, I hope so too. I could see how you could be pessimistic. I mean, because he's gotten away with so much for so long. But, you know, just the fact that he has had this fine leveled against him, levied or leveled, I don't know, by Letitia James, you know, that $454 million or whatever it was. That's a big deal. That's a big fucking deal. I mean, that's a lot of money, and that's a big judgment, and they're going to carry it out. You know, I mean, I know he's trying to appeal it. He's trying to get the money together so he can appeal it, but I don't see how he's going to win. I don't see how an appeal is going to reverse that. So, I mean, just that alone is going to probably wipe him out financially. And I think that once they get into the documents case and start nailing him, Jack Smith is going to nail him for basically being a traitor, right? For selling documents or giving documents, these top secret documents to foreign countries. That's going to come out. That's going to do him in. And plus, I think the Georgia thing with Funny is going to get him. Those three things. This thing with Letitia James, Jack Smith down in Georgia. Those are the ones that are really going to nail him to the wall. You know. So Don Shepard, you say Run DMC, Snoop Dogg, LL Cool J, one other forgot name at the moment. Are you saying that they're one supporting Trump? Or are those just ones that you like? I don't know. Here's something I just saw a headline on this too. Maybe last night. This is Rose Blake says WW P Diddy's homes were raided by Homeland Security for child trafficking. He can't be found. Kamala Harris is being blamed, and so Trump is king. But I just see something about P Diddy being his house being raided. I mean, I didn't click on it or whatever, but I think that was last night too. After I came home. Church says the barge's steering stopped working and they lost control. Wow. That must have been pretty scary. MJ Daniel says the problem with DJT going anywhere is that he probably owes them a whole lot of money. Yeah. Where's he going to go? I think he owes everybody. And if he goes someplace and he owes somebody a bunch of money and he can't pay, he's either going to end up getting disappeared or they're just going to send him back to America and say, here, take this piece of shit. We don't want him. Big Hook says, I have a theory that he will bring out his pocket pardon he made for himself and then flee while Scottish rules on the constitutionality of it. Bolsonaro fled the Hungarian embassy to seek asylum. Yeah, maybe. And if he does that, I know people, they want him to be in prison or whatever. Let's say he does flee somewhere. I think he's going to be living a pretty shitty life wherever he goes. Because he's going to be stuck there. It's not like he could just travel the world. Because if he went in the wrong spot, in the wrong place, someone's going to nab him. And I'm not saying like kill him or whatever, but someone would nab him and arrest him and take him back to the States. I think, WW says, at first when the commercial stuff was fun and poppy, I liked it, but it wasn't real rap. Rap is trying to tell your story in rhyme. Yeah, rap is a whole kind of, like a cultural thing, urban thing. Although there's lots of white rappers, Eminem and all that, and even I guess you could say Beastie Boys, who I really like, but they really are a rock rap fusion. Anyhow, Tawada 106 says, I seriously think Donnie can be reelected. This is a clear and present danger. He can be. He's on the ballot in all 50 states. Even though he probably shouldn't be because he's an insurrectionist and he caused he's the cause of it. But I don't think he is. I really don't. I mean, I know I'm hesitant. Anyone who gets in any type of talking space, where people are listening, we're hesitant. We're afraid to say that we think that, Biden is going to win pretty decisively because we don't want to get people complacent. We don't want complacency. We don't want anyone to stay home and not vote. That's the important thing, is voting. But if we get the turnout, and like we had, and even since 2020, we had the midterms were a big turnout. We've had special elections with big turnouts. We've really seen what people call, the road rage. I think that plays a huge part of it now, the IVF and all that stuff. And there's a special election going on, I think, in Alabama, maybe today. I did read this in, I think it was Daily Cause. I read the Daily Cause. I usually just read the first few paragraphs because I don't have time to read the whole damn thing. But I believe there's a special election or some election for one of the, I think that's a state, one of the state legislative positions, like their state house. And a Democrat who ran in the last election for that lost. I think it was 52 to 45%. Now they're watching, even though this is a house, it's not a U.S. Representative, but Democrats are keeping an eye on that to see if in Alabama, if let's say this Democrat wins that seat and flips that seat, in their state house. I mean, that is interesting to see, and that person is running on these IVF decisions that have been coming down, and so we'll see how that continues with the rage, I guess you would call it. I don't know, but really being upset about women losing their reproductive rights and their autonomy, their bodily autonomy. That's going to play a huge factor in this. And if it's happening in Alabama, then that's a good sign that, you know, everywhere else it's going to be, you know, Rovember. So we'll see how that election plays out. I think it's today, because today's Tuesday. Tuesdays are usually voting days. We'll see how that pans out. Suzanne 47 says, one of my jobs was working on boats. Someone effed up, in my opinion. Something happened, yeah. If the steering went out, it wasn't checked. I'm sure they have pre-checks, just like in trucking. We have pre-checks. You know, where you do your pre-trip inspections. But you know, I mean, there might have been something that just wasn't seen, and it something broke. You know, I guess it happens. It happens, you know. Don Shipper says, yes, a fawn archangel ate Trump accordion hands. Trump is plain dumb. Tim Farrell says, Maria Bartiromo has already tied the bridge collapse to the border. Talk about stretch. Here's Narayan L. Thanks for being here. By the way, glad to see everyone's here. We got 33 watching, 38 thumbs ups. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me and subscribe, and let's share. Hit the share button, and let's get those subs up. We're up over 1,640 now, so that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for subbing and watching and everything. Just your participation and everything, it really helps. It's really great. So I appreciate that. But Neuron Yell says, notice how the whole rappers for Trump thing doesn't get the same Fox News outrage as Taylor Swift telling people to register to vote. Right, yeah, that's true. They're not saying, hey, rappers, just stick to rapping. Robert Perpont says, Trump is closer to the Pied Piper leading the rats to their deaths, more so than being the Antichrist. Donald Trump is just a fucking narcissist, and he's his own worst enemy. He's going to go down because of his own stupidity, yeah, and just his own just thinking that he's the shit. He couldn't be satisfied with. He got hundreds of millions of dollars from his daddy. You know, he was born rich. He couldn't just be satisfied with that. No, he had to be a mover and a shaker. He had to be a big wig, a big man in town in New York City. And what did he do? He fucking ran companies into the ground, just like running America into the ground. And he went bankrupt. He lost casinos. He lost money owning a casino. And everyone's like, how do you do that? It's, you know, the house has all the advantages, and he still ran that into the ground. So yeah, he's a moron, and it's all you know, brought on by his own narcissism, I guess. Robert says, yeah, but he is criminally smart. Shit, I can't believe I said smart and Trump in the same sentence. Well, it's one thing to be, I guess, where he just learns the tricks of the trade. He learned a lot of shit from his dad, probably, you know. And, you know, yeah, it's one thing to be kind of, just to know how to cheat people. I don't think that's smart. I think it is deceptive, you know. WW says, Jesus said those who deceive, hey, we're talking about deceptive, the fools will stay furthest from the presence of God. Blind guides leading blind fools. Blind, blind, blind. Michael McAndrews, that's a wrap. Rose Blake, I do like Eminem. He's a master and not getting into the BS. Yeah, I like Eminem. I mean, he's all right. You know. Jackie says, I like Missy Elliott. MJ Daniel says, the document alone should be enough to send him to prison. Yes. That's gonna be the one. That's gonna be the big one. And I think that Jack Smith's gonna nail him to the wall on that one there. 2106 says Donnie is desperate and afraid, in debt, and has national security documents. Let's just pour gasoline on this and strike a match. But we're just gotta, keep watching and see what happens, and just make sure we vote. I mean, a lot of this stuff is out of our hands. I can't control Jack Smith or Fonnie Willis or whatever, or any other, these courts. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. A lot of things are out of our hands, out of my hands. But what we can do is vote. That's the one thing we have. And it's an important thing. I mean, it's very, very important. So the one thing we can do is we vote. And I will say, what do I say? I say, vote blue if you know what's good for you. And we know that when we have higher turnouts and huge turnouts, usually the Democrats win. They win more than they lose. So if we have a high turnout, we should at least win the White House back. I think we're going to win the House back. Now, I don't know why. I've heard some people say that the Senate is a little trickier than we think. It's not a foregone conclusion. So we need to make sure that we vote blue senators too, We don't want to give the Senate back to, well, I guess Moscow and Mitch is on his way out. So whoever's going to take Moscow and Mitch's place, would it be Moscow Ron Johnson? Oh wait, Johnson's what is he, a senator or a rep? I can't remember now. But whoever would take Moscow Mitch's place. We don't want that. So let's exercise the one power that we really, really have. And it's a very, very, very important one, and that is voting. Make sure you're registered. Go to vote.org. You can go from there. It'll lead you to the link you need to go to. And you can check your registration. If you're not registered, you need to get registered. And if you are registered, you should probably keep checking back every few weeks or whatever to make sure that you're still registered. Mr. Spock says, Buffalo Gals by Malcolm McLaren, 1980 was early rap. That is pretty early. Suzanne says hip-hop is cool. The hop. I don't know. WW says Uncle Joe needs more love among the people, folks. I think a lot of people love Joe Biden. We don't get all, tingly every time we see his name somewhere. But I think a lot of people, think he's a really good guy, Mr. Spock says, coffee and a doob. Talk between two weed plants. Talk amongst yourselves. Ichabod Deer is here. Says, border. Everything on the ship was being exported out of the USA. Yeah, that's why I say that's a pretty big stretch. I don't know what Bartiromo was, how she was coming to that conclusion, but hey, if you can put it in the same sentence, maybe that's all they need to do for these maggots to go, oh, someone say border? Border? Michael McAndrew says, Trump is a backstabber. Backstabber. And amongst other things, let's leave that at that. Jeff Curry, hey Jeff Curry, good to see you. Says, hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he will ever see a jail cell. If he does Kegger at my house. I'm going to hold you to that, Jeff Curry. I don't know if he'll ever see the inside of a jail cell, but he's going to go down. He's going to go down. He's going down, down, down. Going down, down, down. Tawana 106, yeah, true. Donnie's dad was a cruel, mean bastard. Arizona Sunflowers is here. Hey, thank you for being here, Arizona. Hiya, Fancy. Nice to see you. And it is Fancy's birthday, right? Island California is scary when the blind fools get power, though. That's why we must remain vigilant. Always. The fight never ends. The struggle never ends, or whatever. I mean, as far as like, what I mean by that is we can't ever get complacent. Once we win an election, we get the White House. Let's say we get the House of Representatives, we get the Senate. We start getting some judges in SCOTUS. We can't just rest on our laurels. There's no such thing as resting on your laurels. You have to always be at least vigilant enough to vote. To always vote. And, I say vote blue no matter who. Vote blue if you know what's good for you. And then there are people that say, well, I'm not a little sheep. I'm independent or whatever. I can think, I've got my own. Well, that's fine. That's fine. And if you are so independent and you are looking into things and you are reading up on things and investigating things or whatever, then you should know that your best choices, especially when it comes down to just the two choices of Republican and Democrat, your best choice is going to be a Democrat. 99.9% of the time. And that's not to say there aren't other third parties that might be really good, especially in local elections or state level or whatever. But when we're talking about, especially president, I mean, you really only have the two choices. And so we can't ever get complacent. That's what happens. That's why we've had these pendulum swings where we have Clinton, and then from there we go to freaking Bush, even though that was a swindle. That was SCOTUS appointing Bush, and then we get through Bush, then we get Obama, and then we end up with Trump. Maybe if more people had showed up, those things wouldn't happen. Maybe Florida wouldn't have been so close, or maybe some of the other states wouldn't have been so close, and would have made Florida irrelevant. I'm talking about Gore, right, in 2000, or maybe in 2016, if more people had showed up and voted blue, of course, then maybe those pinpointed areas in that iron belt, wouldn't have mattered so much. It would have made that irrelevant. That influence campaign by the Russians, maybe that would have been a moot issue if we had higher turnouts. It could always. I think you can always trace it back to turnout and not being complacent and voting every time. That as just regular people, that's what we got. That is our tool. Is voting, and it's so vital and it's so important, and we can't ever rest on our laurels. And it doesn't take that much to just get out and vote. It really doesn't. And if you want to, research the candidates or research whatever the issues, you can take, even if you do 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, or whatever. I know we're busy. A lot of us have family and kids and job and all this stuff going on. You could take 5-10 minutes out of your day to read up on some candidates, or read up on some issues. It's not like you have to do exhaustive research, at the library or whatever. Or, you could do 5-10 minutes a day, and you can get, by time the voting day comes around, you can be pretty well knowledgeable of the issues and of the candidates, and you need to not just look at, biased reporting. You need to find objective reporting, and you can do a little bit of, cross-checking things. Just don't be lazy with it, I'm just skipping down because I know I'm like 20 minutes behind in the chat here. So Rose Blake says, 2106, you're making great points, and I like it. I skipped all the great points, but let's just keep on moving down here. Arizona Sunflower says, I cannot vote. It's like going to the doctor or shopping. It's something you need to do, convenient or not. Oh, I cannot not vote. Okay, I was going to say, you can't vote. Okay, I cannot not vote. It's like going to the doctor or shopping. It's something you need to do, convenient or not. Yeah, you got to do it. And fortunately, I've lived in California most of my life, and now I'm in Nevada, and it's been really easy. Even before, in California, I used to always just vote in person at my little voting precinct, and I was usually in and out in 5 minutes. And that's why I don't think I really saw on the news things about people waiting in line until probably 2008 when Obama was running for president. That might have been the first time where I saw news reports of people waiting in line to vote for like 2 or 3 hours or longer sometimes. And I was like, what? I just couldn't understand it. I was like, I don't understand that. Why are they taking 3-4 hours to vote? I don't get it. Because I'd never had that experience in California. It was always just, you walk in, there's like maybe a couple people in line or something. You just checked in at the registrar little table, signed your name in the book. They gave you the ballot thing. They said, go to booth 3 or whatever, and you went and voted. Took 5 minutes, and you were out. You were gone. They got your sticker. You got your I voted sticker, and you're gone. Here's another one over here, and so I didn't understand that. But then as I was seeing the reports, I guess in these red states or red districts, they cut down the number of precincts. They cut down, so then there's more waiting, and they just do all these shenanigans. And I don't even have my broom, to make it more and more difficult for people to vote, because they know, the Republicans, the red states know that with lower turnout, they have a better chance of winning. And with higher turnouts, the Democrats usually have a better chance of winning. So they do everything they can to restrict voting. And that's just how awful the Republicans are. They're just an awful, awful party. And they resort to all of these schemes and scams, and because they can't win just straight up with issues. They have to resort to tricks, and that's another reason why I just can't stand them. But living in California, I never had that issue. And then when I became a truck driver, I was able to just vote absentee. This is before everything started really going to like mail-in voting, like for anybody. It was like, so if you wanted to vote absentee, you had to have some sort of excuse. And my excuse was, well, I'm a truck driver and I'm on the road all the time. And they were like, okay. So then when I started driving a truck, I started just voting absentee, which is basically like mail-in voting. And that was great. And that was awesome. And then I moved here to Nevada, and they have mail-in voting, and it's great and it's awesome. It's easy. So if you live in the state like that, there's really no excuse not to vote. Now, if you're in a red district or a red state, and they're obstructing and they're doing everything they can to make voting difficult, then yeah, you might have a little bit of a harder time at it, but it's worth it. If you got to wait in line, then I think it's worth it. Because maybe if you keep waiting in line and you get enough, people to vote for Democrats, then maybe you might eventually someday, if not flip the state, at least get it more purplish. And then maybe you'll be able to get some sort of things instituted where you can get, vote by mail or have early voting and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, he just can't give up. That's, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And it's just, just do it. WW says, it takes me 15 minutes if I drive, except in 2020. Michael McAndrew says, I've watched for many years the Democrats, me included, went good. The Republican clan went off the cliff. I've never liked the Republican Party my entire life. Never. Even as a little kid. Even when I was a little kid and I couldn't even vote, I was totally a Democrat. Rose Blake says, Ichabod Dear, surely you have heard Shake It Off. It would play 1,000 times a day. That's Taylor Swift, right? Taylor says, Bonaroma wants so badly for Biden to fail. She's a ghoul. Yeah, they're all ghouls. Jolie says, I don't care where Trump goes as long as he just goes. I'm so sick of hearing his stupid voice. I know, in his stupid mouth. This is my impression of Trump. And scene. Thank you. Rose Blake says, Michael McAndrew, Biden has been the best president since FDR. I agree that, and I think he's been the best president in my lifetime. I was born in 1960. And so I was too young to really know about Kennedy. And I think Kennedy, he was cut down so early. I don't think we really got a good look at if JFK had 2 full terms, then what might have been, right? And then Jimmy Carter, I really like Jimmy Carter, but he only got 1 term. I like Clinton. I like Clinton. I thought he was a good president. But the strategy was to be sort of Republican light in a way. But still, he was better than the freaking 12 years we had just gone through with Reagan and the first Bush. And then I liked Obama. I think Obama was really good, actually. I mean, he did a lot for not having a Congress behind him. He was able to really get a lot of things done. He was really smart. A lot of people like to kind of reinvent history and kind of bag on him, but I think Obama was really good. But I think Joe Biden really, really, really learned a lot from being in that administration, being the vice president, and plus 20 years as a senator or whatever. I think he's so smart and so knowledgeable about the ins and outs of Washington, D.C., and how to handle Republicans, and that's why the Republicans and the right-wing media want to keep painting this picture that he is, that he's not all there, that he's losing it, he's this cognitive dissonance or whatever, and because they know that he's good. You can tell they know he's good. They know he's smart. They know he knows how to play people or how to, get people to go his way or whatever. So that's why they have to do this campaign of painting this picture that he's this senile old man. You can pretty much, whenever the Republicans are pushing something and the right-wing media is pushing a certain narrative, it's usually the opposite is true. So, there's that. Arizona Sunflower says, Joe reminds me of my grandpa. He was so wise and would explain things to me. He was dependable and kind. I never heard him raise his voice in anger. Not that he didn't, but not in front of me. Yeah, so, Joe is like our grandpa. Who doesn't love your grandpa, Toronto 106 says, kindness and humanity in people who govern is like water in the desert. Don Shepard says, HRC had maybe lousy PR team of a-holes thinking they were so fantastic, stupid egomaniacs, fuck them. Well, yeah, and then in hindsight, it's easy. It's really easy. 2020 is hindsight. I mean, 2020 is hindsight is 2020. There you go. And they were really believing the polls so much because it was saying that she's like 99% sure she's going to win. I remember just a few days from the election, Trump only had like I don't know, I think it was less than 10% chance of winning, they were saying. And they just believed the polls so much, and they kind of got, you know, really too confident, overconfident. To their detriment and to our detriment, because now we were stuck with Trump, and it really set us back. It really set us back in so many ways. But I don't know about her PR team and stuff like that. But as far as Hillary herself, I don't. I mean, it's easy to criticize her in hindsight. Let's just say it. Let's just put it that way. Mad Max says, me, I've been in your crazy car. Ha, 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 at Jackie. Fancy says, I get a ballot and just drop it off. Yep. That's what I did over here in Nevada. Arizona Sunflower says, John F. Kennedy was so beloved. Yes, he and his brother Robert were two very intelligent and beloved Kennedys. Unlike the weird guy in office, present day. I think you mean, unlike Trump? I mean, because the guy in office in present day is Biden, so I don't know. Jeff Curry says, Rose, I was talking to a couple after show. They waiting for the line to thin so they could talk to the band. We walked over and he said, hey, let my dad back here. The lady said, what? I don't know what that's talking about. Don Shepard says, yes, RFK Jr. equal major disappointment. Tawana 106, I forced myself to be old-fashioned and vote in person. I do to get the sticker. Well, I get the stickers when I vote by mail. They put a sticker in there. So, and also the last election we just had, the primary, I took it to a drop box, and they had people there, and they gave me a sticker. So I had extra sticker because I had a sticker from the mail. And a sticker that they gave me. I think this is the one that they gave me. One of these ones they gave me. One of them came with the ballot in the mailbox, in the envelope. Michael McAndrew says hardship voting works for Republicans because, like I said, they can't win on their merits. That's true. That's absolutely true. They can't win on the issues, so they got to pull shenanigans. WW says Lavanella Tawana. I walk to my polls if the weather is nice. Only a few blocks. And the thing is, that's great. If you guys can walk to your polls, drive to your polls, vote in person, vote on election day, that's great. That's fine. I'm not saying anything against that. But I'm saying I think we need to have a lot of options. And when we have mail-in voting, it does make it really easy and convenient for a lot of people. And the Republicans don't like that because that increases turnout. They don't want anything that's going to increase turnout. They don't want. That's why they like Jim Crow and all that shit, right? So if we can have early voting, and we can have mail-in voting, and we can have drop-off boxes, and we can have, of course, same-day voting, that gives you a lot of options. Let's say you wanted to vote by mail, but for some reason, and let's say you filled it out and you didn't mail it, and here it is, it's election day. Now they've got drop boxes, and you can just drop them off. That's great. So it gives you these options so that if there's only one option, there might be a greater chance that you won't vote. But if you have 3 or 4 different options, like mail-in voting and early voting and drop-off boxes, plus the same-day voting where you use that way, that's 4 different things. That's four different options. That gives you a lot more opportunities to vote. And the more opportunities to vote, the more likely you're going to vote, the higher the turnout, the more chances that Democrats are going to win. Okay? That's how that works. Taylor says the Republicans are trying to remove voters from voter rolls. Mark Elias is fighting all of it. Yep, they taking people off the rolls, and that does need to be done. Let's say, I mean, they do need to go and check through them because that's like people die, people move, so they should be taken off. But if they're just taking you off kind of willy nilly, or maybe sometimes there are certain names that they think, oh, that sounds like a Democrat or something. You know, that's bullshit. And here in Nevada, some organization has filed a lawsuit, I believe. It's probably some right-wing organization against Nevada, or I don't know if it's some districts or counties or whatever, but because they're saying that there's more people on the rolls than there are that live in these cities or these towns or these districts. And that somehow means that, that it's some sort of vote rigging or whatever. Really, all that means is that they haven't cleaned the rolls out because of people who have died or people that have moved away. And so there might be more people on those rolls than that actually live in that town. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that there's like people voting that don't live there or something, which is what they're trying to imply. And it's all bullshit. Marie Jean Greco says, music and fashion are always the passion at the Copa. Speaking of Copa, Barry Manilow is playing at the Westgate. If you guys ever get to Vegas and you like Barry Manilow. I'm not a huge Barry Manilow fan myself, but I do find myself, whenever Mandy comes on, I find myself singing along, you know. And I've picked up a few people from the Manilow concert at the Westgate, and they absolutely love it. This one lady, who was probably about my age, maybe a few years younger, it's just a total Barry Manilow maniac. That should be their, however has like names, The Manilow followers, they should be the maniacs, maybe. I don't know. But she says she's gone to like 56 different concerts of his. She's been going to concerts since the 80s and all this kind of stuff. She absolutely loved the guy. And she said he sounded great. And actually, she went to 2 back-to-back nights there at the Westgate in Vegas. Or maybe 3. I think she might have went to all three nights in a row, something. Because she said the first night he was really, really great. She said, and I think she said by the 3rd night, he still sounded really great, but he looked a little tired and he almost tripped. I guess he kind of walks around the stage or whatever. And then maybe there's some steps and he did trip, but I guess he caught himself. And everyone kind of gasped, because the guy's like 80-something years old. And she's like, I think after that 3rd day, he might have been getting tired, So I guess if you're going to see him, go see him on the first day. Because I think he does a few days, and I think he goes home, or he rests, and then he comes back, or whatever. Tawato 106 says, my voting place is the Russian Orthodox Church up the block. It's really nice to vote and pray. Well, there you go. You can knock out 2 things at once. I'm always good. I'm always for that. Tawato 106 also says, well, let's be fair. Republicans used to be for free trade, rule of law, and fiscal responsibility. Maybe that was back in the 40s or 50s. I don't know. Not in my lifetime. They're not for, well, maybe free trade, but certainly not fair trade. Ichabod Deer says, sorry, don't know any Swift tune. I like her as a person, though. She's huge, dudette, whatever. She's very, very huge, and she has been for not just this year. She's been a huge mega star recording artist for at least a decade now. Terry Taylor says, I'm going to read this one because when someone starts a sentence off, I completely agree, John. Then I have to read it. Biden has been the best in my lifetime. Well, there you go. Me and Terry Taylor are simpatico in that, I guess. Don Shepard says, I always thought of Swift as Kitty Rock, but I ain't knocking Kitty Rock. I just ain't a kid anymore. I don't know if it's Kitty Rock. It's pop. It's very pop, dance pop, type of thing. Arizona Sunflower says, I grew up in Cali, the OC, the Orange Curtain, the Orange Republican Curtain, whatever. Moved for 12 years to Kansas because that's where my mom lived, and she got cancer. So when She stopped having chemo, and I knew she was nearing the end. I spent my time with her. Well, yeah, that's a good thing to do. Fancy says, I wish Jack would go after those guilty politicians that were involved. Yeah, it'd be nice if they all go down. All those Moscow Mitches and Moscow bitches and Moscow witches. Rosebake says, Joe is a people person. He is. He's a good guy. He's just a good guy. Hey, okay, well, yeah, Jolie, I saw my name highlighted, so I started reading about, reminding everyone we got channel memberships, we got super chats, and you can support the show by liking, sharing, and subscribing, or you can buy me a coffee over at the Buy Me a Coffee link. That's always great. Keep the show going, keep the show rolling, keep the show, did I say growing already? We want to grow, and we want to be somewhere in the Joe Rogan neighborhood, Alex Jones neighborhood, except not so disgusting. I'm talking about viewership, you know. Hey, right now I'd just be satisfied with 2,000 subs. Don Shepard says, love what you do, Tucker John. You are relaxing, yet a truth teller. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. I really do. I think I might be blushing right now. I don't know. But, yeah, you know, but just relax. Just shoot the shit. Now, we are getting a little political today, but this show is an open forum. And like I said, we talk about food and beer and animals and bugs and hotel casinos and Bruce Springsteen. And, you know, I mean, we talk about toenail fungus. I mean, we talk about everything on this show. And we can talk politics. I don't mind it. On this forum, on this show. It's funny, like, I am planning on doing, you know, sometimes I do some walk-arounds, Vegas, walk around in hotels or in a motel or a restaurant. And I am planning on still doing the 10,000 steps a day for 30 days along the Vegas Strip. We're going to be starting that pretty soon. When I do that kind of stuff, I don't really like to get political. And in fact, I am kind of thinking about maybe doing a separate channel for that. You guys, let me know what you think about that. Because I am going to start doing more kind of Vegas, hotel, restaurant, walking around type things. And maybe I should do that as a separate channel. Because on there, I don't really like, when I do those, I don't really like getting political. But when we're here, when I'm in my apartment here, and it's a sit-down talk type of show, I don't mind talking about politics. And I don't mind talking about anything, you know, anything you guys, wherever the conversation leads us. But if I do those other ones, maybe I should do a new channel. I don't know. Or should I just keep it all on the same channel? You guys let me know what you think. Because I was thinking that's something I'm kind of kicking around. Maybe starting a new channel, a separate channel. Keeping this channel, but also having another channel for those other activities. Because there are a lot of people that do these Vegas walkarounds. So I feel like we need one more. There must be dozens of people that do, and I watch a lot of them. I do like, there's some that I like. I like how they're very informative, and it helps keep me to know more about this city of Las Vegas, so that when I'm driving Uber and people ask me questions, I might know some shit. And also just because I like the city, and it's interesting. So I do. There's probably a half a dozen of these Las Vegas people who live here, and they do videos almost daily. They do live streams where they're walking around the Strip, they're walking around Fremont Street. They do videos where they do reviews of restaurants and hotels. And I'm thinking about doing that myself. So, like I said, there's just not enough. And the thing is, each one brings their own little flavor to it, their own spin to it, their own. So they're, you know, it's not so cookie cutter. The ones that I watch, they're all, you know, they're similar, but they have their own. They bring their own personalities into it. And so, you know, you need some Trucker John personality probably for the Strip. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If I should do a separate channel for that or whatever, you know. Good Vibes Tribes here. Hey, Good Vibes Tribes says, John, you mentioned the response of the Republicans through media. Notice Trump started calling everything the Biden trials. I didn't notice that, by the way. Good Vibes Tribes also says, I noticed the deflection, then the projection, but my girlfriend pointed out that it is abusive gaslighting actually a term. What I've noticed is the rats are jumping the sinking ship. That's what I've noticed. Whether it's actual like House representative members that are quitting, or even people in the media are starting to, I think, trying to sort of separate themselves from Trump. Mad Max says, I'll be sure not to ever call you magnificent, bro, at WW. Chris is here. Hey, Chris says, the more people vote, the more Republicans lose. Right. That's why we always want a high turnout for Democrats. Well, we always want a high turnout because that usually means more Democrats. Taylor says, don't Repugs realize that trying to stop mail-in voting affects their base too? Right. Steve Sayers is here. Hey, Steve. Good to see you. Says, who believes that Trump would not be a dictator for more than one day? Right. Right. And just to say that, I mean, he's so stupid. I mean, but only for one day. I would be a dictator, but only for one day. Like, that makes a difference. I mean, like, oh, it's okay. Oh, okay. Go ahead and we'll allow you one day. Yeah. So that in that one day, you can just do whatever you want, and you can fuck over as many people as you want. We're okay with that. Yeah, right. I'm just skipping along here. Don Shepard says, oh, that Kennedy is a lousy, lying flake, total phony, and I'm not sure what WIIP is. But whatever it is, it can't be good. But yeah, RFK Jr. is wacko. And his whole family has come out and said, we don't support him. We know he's, got fucked up in the head. Oh, wimp. Oh, he's a wimp. Okay. I should have read that down. I don't know if he's a wimp, but he's weird. He's a weirdo, and he's a whack job. And he's really just taking votes away from Trump. I don't think he's going to take any votes away from Biden. So I'm not really worried about him. I'm just skipping down, guys. Don Shepard says he did write the book Crimes Against Nature, which was real pro-life, meaning give a damn about the biosphere. 106 says Manilow is a secret embarrassment for me. A lot of people love that guy, apparently. He broke Elvis's record as far as, I guess, the amount of concerts held at the Westgate, which used to be the Hilton, or used to be the International, then it was like the Hilton International, or vice versa. But anyhow, that's where Elvis played back in the 70s. And then last year, Barry Manilow broke his record. So a lot of people love that guy, Barry Manilow, that's for sure. And yeah, he's had a great career, lots of great songs, great hits. It's just not my really cup of tea. But I do like Mandy. People say it's about a dog, but the great thing about music and lyrics, and even I think even anything written, novels, movies. There's always metaphors, and there's always these things, and there's always, reading between the lines, and there's two meanings and all that kind of stuff. And you can take a literal meaning, and you can take a figurative meaning, and I think it's all kind of in the eye of the beholder. So when I listen to Mandy, I don't think about it being about a dog. And actually, that is sort of that turns out to be just an urban myth that it's about a dog. But it's funny when people brought that up, and I thought, this could be about a dog, but it's not. That's an urban myth. But I do like the song, and that's one of the only songs of Barry Manilow's that I actually like and I actually sing along to when it comes on the radio. Rose Blake says, Bruce Springsteen fell a few months ago. People do fall. Yeah, he did fall. I saw that video, and Bruce is so cool. I remember he fell. I think he was walking up some steps, or there was sort of a down step on the stage or something. And I think he ended up falling on his ass or something. And instead of being, this is sort of a contrast between, let's say, Bruce Springsteen and Donald Trump. Bruce was just like, well, I fell. He was just like, what are you gonna do? Can you imagine if Trump fell on his ass, and he'd be like, oh, somebody made the stage wrong. He would be blaming everybody under the sun but himself, you know. He would have no humility. He would have no sense of humor about it, you know. So, just another reason to hate Trump. I can't stand Trump. Michael McAndrews says, I might be something to play the triangle. I might be about to play the triangle. Okay. Don Chipper says, I understand you, Tucker John. I don't like talking politics because it makes enemies. I don't mind talking politics. Especially like I say, in this forum, when I'm doing this sort of morning show from my house here. But when I'm out doing like a walk around the town, I like to make it about the town or about that issue, you know. But here, this is different. That's why I'm thinking about maybe doing separate channels. Fancy says all in one. So I shouldn't do a separate channel. Let's see. Fancy says Tyson is going to end it fast. Oh yeah, so we're talking about Tyson and Jake Paul. My take is Jake Paul, if he wants to be a great boxer, do not fight a 57-year-old retired champ. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, how do you win? Like, if Jake Paul wins, then big deal. You beat an old guy. And if Jake Paul loses, then you got your ass kicked by an old guy. I don't see how you win. It's just a money grab, you know, I guess, or publicity. That thing that there's no such thing as bad publicity. And let me tell you, Mike Tyson at 57 is still a motherfucking badass. I saw some of the training video of him just like sparring and stuff. The guy looks scary as shit. And look, he's old, and there's probably no way that he could, still, let's say, box the top boxers that are in their 20s and 30s, because you lose a little something, and I doubt he could, do that, but. Still, when you talk about just the world overall, there's like 8 billion people, he's probably still in the top 99.9% of, or is it top 1/10 of 1%? How does that work? I guess he'd be in the top 1/10 of 1% of as far as like being, being able to just kick everybody else's ass, you know what I mean? But when it comes to like professional boxing, okay, yeah, he's probably, you lose a little bit of something, of speed or whatever. But if you've seen him box, I mean, this guy, you've seen him train, it's amazing. 57 years old. Believe me, you don't take his age to think that, what I'm saying is Jake Paul's going to get his ass kicked, basically. Because Jake Paul is not a top boxer. He might be a good boxer just for like kicking some dude's ass in a bar or something, but as far as being a professional boxer, even a 57-year-old Mike Tyson looks scary as shit, and he's gonna clean his clock. That's just how I feel about that. Steven Sayer says, super painful to have your ear bit. Jackie says, catch you guys later. Oh, thank you for being here, Jackie. You might be gone already, because I don't know how far I am behind in the chat. But thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Walter Makarovich, hey, Walter's here, back here. Says, good morning, Trucker John. Don't about voting MAGA out of Congress. How does Jim Jordan dodge all those subpoenas? Makes no sense. Well, he just doesn't go, and they don't enforce it. Apparently. So, and if his constituents in Ohio don't seem to give a fuck, he's going to keep getting reelected. You got to give a fuck, people. You got to start giving a fuck. And I'm talking to you, Ohio. Okay, you guys got to start giving a fuck. Stop voting for these pieces of shit. Francis says, you're right, John. Buck quit and says there are 4 more like him. Oh, in the House? Wouldn't it be great if we got Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House before the election? That'd be pretty awesome. Don Ship says, no, the Southern faker Kennedy, not RFK Jr. Oh, you talking about the guy from Louisiana? Who has no relations whatsoever with the Kennedy family? Marine Jane Gekro says, no good vibes. It's not the voting that caused this. I'm just sort of skipping, as you see, I'm just scrolling down and just randomly reading now. Jeff Curry says, Spock they gave free pre-rolled with purchase. That thing is the size of a small cigar. So now you're talking about pot stuff. Let's see. I think I just scrolled all the way to the bottom here. So Don Services can't give up hope. Don says you gotta live this life. Arizona Sunflower says your religion controls whether you vote or not? Question mark. But why are you here? You aren't going to vote and have no opinion on who wins. I think a lot of people, they don't think voting matters. They don't have any idea really of how things work. They take, I don't know, maybe they take it for granted or something. I don't know what the deal is with a lot of people. They just don't have any interest in voting or anything about politics. And I'm not saying you have to be a wonk, like a political wonk or anything like that. Like I said before, I was saying just take 5-10 minutes a day or maybe not even every day. Maybe, once or twice a week, take 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes out just to sort of catch up on things that are going on in DC or even with your local city politics and your county politics and your state politics. Just take a few minutes here and there. I mean, it is important. And a lot of people don't think it's important. That's weird. That's kind of weird. And upsetting, I guess, in a way. But so I guess we got to pick up the slack and get more people involved, to vote. It doesn't have to be everybody. It doesn't have to be like in Russia where 100% of the people have to vote or whatever. But I think the more the merrier, and the more that you learn about some of the issues and the candidates, and it can't help. It can't hurt. It can't help. It can't hurt. But some people just live in their little cocoons or their little bubbles, and all they're interested in is just pleasure things, like when they're going to go out to the next dance or the next bar or the next night out, or what's the next video game they're going to get or whatever, and just they don't really care about politics. And you really should care about politics because everything is political. Everything you do is touched by politics. The video games you play, the music you want to listen to, the sex you want to have, the cars you want to buy, the houses you want to buy, places you want to live. It's all political. It's all touched by politics. So politics, whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, are important. And they do touch your life and influence your life. And so it's important to have some involvement, and it's important to vote. And I can't overemphasize that enough. I just can't. And so people who just want to live they're like oblivious to what's going on, please just take 5 or 10 minutes every now and then, a few times a week, just to touch on some of these subjects, I mean, it's not really asking that much, So you guys are just chatting away here. Mad Max says, for $10 million, I would go 3 rounds with Tyson. Yeah, it's a money grab, like I said. Hopefully you'll live. Hopefully you won't get brain damage. Look, Mike Tyson, man, I've seen the training videos, not too many. I saw a couple, and I've seen some photos of him. And the guy, if I saw him walking towards me, I would immediately be praying to God that that Mike Tyson would be my friend. But you know, yeah, if we're not at 63, I wouldn't go against Mike Tyson for any amount of money because I would probably get killed. But let's say if I'm Jake Paul's age and then I got his physicality and he's got some skills or whatever, you might be able to last 3 rounds. You're not going to win. I mean, in Mike Tyson's prime, he was knocking out dudes in just seconds in the first round. You know, now granted he's 57 now, but I don't know. I think he could knock Jake Paul out in the first 5 seconds of the fight. But Jake Paul is young enough and fit enough that I think he could survive that. If that happened to me, let's just say, I'm like, yeah, I'll fight him for $10 million. What would happen is Mike Tyson would punch me in the face. I would go down, and I might not ever get up. I might either be dead or in a coma for the rest of my life. So that $10 million, I guess it would go to my kids. I guess, there should be, I would just, say, yeah, if I die, give it to my kids. So I guess that's not too bad of a thing, but not good for me, but it'd be good for my kids, I guess. Michael McAndrew says, got to stand up against bullies. I believe in that, yeah. I believe in that. Says Don Shepard, he could kill you with a punch. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like I said, especially at my age. Like I said, if I was, I don't know how old Jake Paul is. I think he's in his 30s, right, or whatever. And he's a fit guy. And I've seen little clips of him, and he's been fighting, right, a little bit, boxing and stuff. And he's got some skills. Not going to deny that. He ain't no Mike Tyson. He's not a champion boxer, but he's got some skills. And he could probably maybe withstand getting knocked out by Mike Tyson and not have too much brain damage and be able to go on and enjoy his $10 million or whatever. But if it happened to me, I don't think I would. Like I said, I would either be killed or I would be in a coma for the rest of my life. Let's see. Fancy says he is going to do that again, I think. Terry Taylor says, W, not if you live in a red state and want or need an abortion. I don't. W says, diversions and entertainment, it will be choreographed. Yeah, it's diversions, yeah, by people not voting and stuff. There's Seha. Thanks for being here. You may have been here, but I've been skipping around the chat because I've been, talking so much. Says, Mike Tyson is an asshole. The Holyfield fight made me so much money. I think Mike Tyson, had a lot of issues for sure. A lot of issues, and maybe he still has a lot of issues. I don't know, but I think he has grown a lot as a human being, maybe since those days, Maybe, I don't know. WW says, isn't Jake Paul like 6'6" and 300 pounds? I don't think so. No, Jake Paul is a very fit guy. I don't think he's 6'6". But maybe I'm thinking of a different guy. I don't know. He's just a YouTuber. Right? He was just like a TikToker dude, right? That's where his claim to fame was just for being an influencer. And then he got into boxing. Doesn't he have like a brother too? And they're like 6 feet or 6'2" or something like that. They're not 6'6". And they're just fit guys. They're not 300 pounds. Michael Anderson, don't fight Tyson Johnson. No. Or if I did, like I said, I would make sure that my kids got the money. Because I just don't see myself surviving that. Robert Popone says, Zach Galifianakis took a sucker punch for Tyson and was fine. That was from the movie. That movie. Rose Blake said, let's throw Rand Paul into the ring. There you go. That'd be funny. WW says, in Illinois, you don't have to prove residency. I don't know what that's all about. WW says, donate to Planned Parenthood. They advocate and care for women. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm all for that. In fact, I did donate to Planned Parenthood after, I think it was when Trump won, and it was like all that pussy hat stuff and grab your pussy and all that stuff. And Planned Parenthood was sort of in the forefront, and I donated some money to them, and now I get stuff in the mail from them all the time. WW says I was exaggerating. Okay. Robert Perpol says Tyson is complete. Oh, about the 6'6", 300 pounds. Well, you were exaggerating, but why? It's stupid. Robert Perpol says Tyson is a completely different person ever since smoking 5, whatever that is, aka the Toad. But I know Tyson, didn't he start his own like dispensary or something? Because I think he was growing pot in California City, California, which is about 150 miles north of LA, northeast, out in the desert, kind of where I lived, north of where I lived. About 40 or 50 miles north of where I lived in the Antelope Valley. And I think he started his own like weed growing operation and all that kind of stuff. And I think he sells weed. Jeff Tree says, Tyson said being a vegan helped his health. I'm thinking what helped was lack of fighting. I don't know, maybe. Mike Gunn says, me too, WW. Don Shepard, disgusting behavior. MAGA thinks that's macho. It ain't. No, it's just disgusting. WW says 6'1", 200 pounds, almost the same as me, laughing out loud, Jake. That's what I figured. That's what I figured he was. I told you he was about 6'1", 6'2", and very fit. And he's a very fit 200 pounds. So, Terry Taylor says, W, sorry I didn't pick up on your exaggeration, or was that sarcasm? Or was that just stupidity? WW says, it is a show. Don Shepard says, DMT, I don't know what your title is. I have no idea what that is. Don Shepard says, but I want to try psilocybin mushrooms. W says, psychology is real and amazing. Don says, supposed to help you be more creative in your thinking. Steve Sayre says, thanks, Sugar John. Gotta go wifey to doctor appointment. Okay, Steven, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, all that good stuff. And sharing is caring. So if you guys hit the share button, it'll you can pop up the links to like Facebook and X and to Threads or Substack or Instagram, or even to just some other person that you want to spam them. I'm not averse to spamming, as long as I'm doing the spamming and I'm not receiving the spamming. No, I'm just kidding. But thanks for being here, Steve. I appreciate it. Hope to see you on Thursday. I'll be back Thursday. Good Vibes Tribe says, so how do we feel about Trump auctioning the bone spur? WW says, not lab rats, rab labs. Mad Max says, I would put battery acid on my boxing gloves and punch Tyson in the nuts, then run around the ring so fast he couldn't catch me. If you'd even get to his nuts, I mean, you would probably be knocked out before you even were able to get to his nuts. That's how quick and fast this guy is. Robert Propose says, Don Shepard shrooms are for HO-DMT. I don't know any of this shit. Most people don't know this. It's orally active DMT. I don't even know what DMT is. Rosebeck says, sometimes I think doctors treat us like lab rats. Don Shepard says, gotta go do life stuff. See you kind of souls later. Love your show, Trucker John. Sorry for typos. That's okay. I typo all the time. But thanks for being here, Don. I really do appreciate it. We are at the 2-hour mark, so I mean, I might be going off here pretty soon. But thanks for being here. Don Shepard. I almost said Don O'Leary because where is Don O'Leary? Usually Don O'Leary's here, but Don Shepard's here. So thank you so much, and come on back Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. We'll be here chit-chatting away. WW says, I can't get my trolls to come anymore. Arizona Sunflowers, I don't attack people. I do wonder why someone who refuses to vote comes on an obvious dim opinion channel where we try to get educated on candidates and democracy. I think just to anger people who vote. Did someone do that? I must. I've been skipping in the chat, so I don't know if someone did that or not. Mad Max says try KY jelly at WW. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Mad Max says quit thinking realistically. This is called fantasy for a reason. Laughing out loud. Jeff Trey says have to see a neurosurgeon Thursday morning. I'm already in a bad mood for that. Well, that sounds pretty serious. I hope that goes well, Jeff. Good Vibe Tribes. I could just say I vote and end this. Oh, okay. So was Good Vibes Tribe saying you don't vote? Because I did skip down. I did skip some stuff. Because I was talking about voting, right? I was talking about how important it is to vote. And I don't know. I'm just going back to Good Vibes Tribe. Did you say you don't vote? I just want to see what we're talking about. Party of Tolerance. Let me just see if I can get up to speed on this. Okay, so Good Vibes Tribe. I missed what you said. It says me not voting isn't going to change anything, Terry. Okay, so I guess at some point here, Good Vibe Tribe said you don't vote. And I'm just I don't believe them. Okay, so you're saying says let's there's the sunflowers. I don't. Okay, so there it is. I don't vote. Okay, I finally found it. Good Vibe Tribe says I don't vote, and then that started this whole thing. Okay, so okay, you don't vote. I don't give a fuck. Don't vote. All I'm saying is that I don't understand. I was talking about people who don't even think about it. Like you're obviously in here and you think about it and you have reasons or whatever. But there are people who just go live completely oblivious to politics and to anything political. I mean, like it doesn't exist. That's kind of what I was talking about. Like I can't understand people who just live in this sort of oblivious life and like nothing is going to affect them that goes on in DC or even in their local politics. They just take for granted that everything happens, but then if something does happen where all of a sudden they can't do something that they like to do, then they're going to go, what the fuck happened? Well, maybe if you had gotten involved a little bit, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Now, I'm not saying that one vote is going to change everything, but when you add that one vote to a bunch of other people's votes, then it does. Now, I don't know why you don't vote. I didn't read all of your posts. Good Vibes. Was it Good Vibe Tribes? It says I was attacked by a pack of chatters. I used my whistle, grabbed a stick, and backed away. So you don't vote, and because you don't think that there's anyone that's worth voting for. You don't like anyone from the Republicans. You don't like any from the Democrats. Apparently, you don't like any of the independents. You don't like anybody. None of them are worth your breath, I think you said. Okay, fine. But at least you're not oblivious to politics. You're not oblivious to the system. Now, I don't necessarily agree with you on like, no one's worth your breath, no one's worth your vote, no one's worth your time, or whatever. I don't really agree with that. I think that's a bunch of hogwash. But at least you're not going through life with blinders on, I think. You know what I mean? I mean, at least you know enough about the system and how it works. At least you've formed an opinion based on whatever your life experience is and whatever. But I'm talking about, there are lots of people, they don't even give politics a thought. It never even enters their mind. They're just about video games and going out and partying, or, you know, I mean, they don't even have an excuse. Like, they don't even offer an excuse because they don't even think about it, you know? And there's a lot of people like that. That's what I was talking about. But like, okay, so for Good Vibes Tribe, you don't vote, you don't like them, and they're entitled to your opinion, but at least you're not like totally oblivious. That's what that was the kind of thing that was bugging me, is these oblivious people who don't even think about it. You know, like it doesn't, like politics don't exist, or that they don't, you know. Anyhow, 106 says, if I won the lottery, I'd just give the trash away. I'd rather work. You can give it to me. Good Vibe Tribes, you all assume what I like and don't like. WW says, Hal called me a maggot. Sometimes you just come off as a maggot. Michael McAndrews, but I always mean good, and I'm always smiling in this room. Well, that's good. Keep smiling, Michael. WW says, we are the cool kids, good vibes, except for one or two of us. Whatever that means. Good Vibe Tribes, I could have lied about not voting. My point is people believe stupid shit. Well, I'm glad you didn't lie. I appreciate your honesty. I really do. And I missed a lot of that thread of the chat because I was skipping down because I was so far behind. But I appreciate your honesty. And like I said, at least you're not living life oblivious. Because there's some people, they don't even probably know they barely know who Joe Biden is. You know, they barely know who Donald Trump is. I mean, they know the name and they know he was president, and that's about it. They don't know anything about Trump's mishandling of COVID. They don't know anything about his, taking documents. They don't know anything about how he has spent more money on Secret Service details from his golfing than anybody in the history of the United States, or spend enough money for the next to pay the next 400 years of presidential salaries or whatever. People don't know. They don't know that shit. They don't know nothing. But at least you know. At least you are at least aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? So you don't want to vote. Okay, you've made your decision. That's different than what I was talking about. Arizona says the guy, Good Vibe Tribe, see above, he accuses me of attacking him. I'm not attacking him at all. I just wondered why he is here announcing it to us. Well, I mean, like I say, hey, this is open forum. We can talk. I don't mind people having opposing viewpoints, different opinions. I don't mind that at all. But we don't want to get into name calling, and that goes both ways. Let's have a civil conversation, Tawana 106 says, at least I worked in local government. The best politicians are like alchemists. They turn dirt into gold for the community. Big Hook says, the point is that Republicans want to make you believe that the government does nothing for you, and the Republicans do just that in government as obstructionists. This Congress is the least productive. Yeah, the Republicans kind of make this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Rose Blake says, WW, you have called me a lot of names, and I have always taken up for you. I love joking around, but I don't like hurting people. Okay, now I've been skipping around in the chat, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But if there's any name calling going on, you guys need to knock it off. If you guys can't be civil, then you need to leave, I guess. Michael McGandra says, I believe you have to be grown up and always take things in a lighthearted meaning. Good Vibes Tribe says, I have been here more than you, Sunflowers. Who are you? How do you vote? WW says, what did I call you, Rose? I love you. See, that's the thing with W. He always tries to get out of things by saying, I love you. He can be as big as shit in the world, and then he tries to win you back by saying, I love you. And I'm not buying it, and I hope Rose doesn't buy it. You know, don't come at me with this I love you bullshit. If you were an asshole, then stop being an asshole and stop trying to be, I love you. Like that's like people are gonna go, oh, he loves me. I guess I was being too mean to him. Arizona Sunflowers, but nobody asked you. You just announced it twice. Well, no, because no one maybe asked, but I was talking about voting. I put the voting stickers on. I was talking about voting. Okay, so then Good Vibe Tribe says I don't vote. I don't see that. I don't have any problem with that. Good Vibe Tribe is kind of rude, right? I don't know. Mike Majenja 11 out. Okay, John. Good Vibe Tribe says, I didn't address you. Is all that matters. Okay, we need to stop with this back and forth thing here. WW says, did I call you apple or pear? Fancy says, I vote Democrat and I'm proud of it. Me too. I vote blue. I've never voted for a Republican in my life, and I'm proud of that. Arizona Sunflowers, oh, I don't know how often you've been here, nor do I know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to skip this because I really don't care about this. It's kind of silly. It's kind of a silly thing you guys are doing. And that's in my opinion. Let's see here. If I tries, my point is you people believe that what people say and then get upset. Maybe try being nice. Mr. Spock, see what you drove me to. Mad Max says, as long as we have mutual respect towards each other, let's laugh, be serious, angry at maggots, and enjoy life. It really is too short to be pissy about things. Respect. Find out what it mean to me. Mac Manager, let's all have a beer together and call it good. I am voting Trump out here. Out of here, maybe? WW says, did I call you honey or dear? Okay, whatever. Good Vibe Tribe says, then a few people jumped in. WW, I love you too, John. Why the fuck else would I be here? What I'm saying is, don't try to use that, like, because you're being a shit, and then it's like, oh, I love you. You know, don't play that game. Fancy says, stop arguing. WW says, show me, blah, blah, blah. Big shitster, W. Yeah, he is. Good Vibe Tribe, I will just leave John. Have a better... Okay, well, Good Vibe Tribe, look, you don't have to leave. I understand. I mean, I don't have a problem with you saying that you don't vote. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I just don't. Even though I advocate for voting, I encourage everyone to vote, to get involved. I encourage that, and I'm for that. But that doesn't mean I think that there should be a law that you have to vote. You know what I mean? It should be voluntary. And if you don't want to vote, that's your right. That's your right. And I don't have a problem with it, other than the fact that I do encourage voting. I'm all for voting, and I think more people need to get involved. More people need, because there are people, like I say, Good Vibe Tribes, you're different. I think you're not. Your head isn't buried in the sand. I don't think there are a lot of people that their heads are either buried in the sand or whatever kind of metaphor you want to use, where they just don't even think about it. They don't care about it. They just take all the things that they have, all the rights that they have, all the freedoms they have. They just take it for granted and think it's just always going to be there. And they don't get involved at all, you know. That's what I was talking about. But if you don't want to vote, that's your choice. It's your choice. W says, John's joining the game, whatever. Michelangelo's Trucker John. I think that's like a hug thing. I don't know. I always forget. Virtual hug thing, maybe? I don't know. But thank you, Michael. To 106 says, the vote is basically saying I care. W says, I think we all are voters on the bus. Government tries to vote is to take responsibility. Hey, look at there, Good Vibes Tribe. To vote is to take responsibility. I agree with that. WW says, blah, blah. I'm just going to ignore WW because I don't understand half the shit he says anyhow. Good Vibe Tribe says, so take responsibility. Yes, take responsibility. I agree. Hey, I agree with that. I guess you don't want to take responsibility. WW says, anybody who cares votes. Big Hook says, you can't make the argument that government does nothing for you when you don't participate in choosing your government. But they do anyhow. And I'm not just talking about Good Vibe Tribes. I'm talking about this sort of, I don't know if it's a hypothetical, this mythical, or just example that I have of this person, of a person. I'm not talking about anybody in this chat. This is just a thing in my head about a person who just goes through life without a care in the world, apparently, taking everything for granted, who they just do their thing, but they don't pay attention one iota to anything political. That's the person that I'm talking about. And I think they exist. I don't think it's just in my head. I think there's a lot of people like that exist. I think we probably all know people like that, family, friends, whatever, acquaintances, that just take no part whatsoever in even knowing who their own mayor is or their governor or whatever. And then when something does happen, let's say their favorite video game gets banned or something, then they're all like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? And then they're all of a sudden they're in it. It was like, yeah, maybe you should have been paying more attention, you know? That's what I'm talking about. Michael, it's a thank you, John. Oh, okay. Well, you're welcome. 21 exactly. Civic responsibility. Deal with it. Biatch. I don't know. We need to see that. Rose Blake. The one thing Republicans truly do is vote. WW said good vibes. Blah blah blah. Michael, there are all kinds of memes and disinformation things. You have to see through it. Rose Blake says Democrats are notorious for not voting. That's true. That's the problem. And that's what we're talking about is turn out, get the vote out. If you're going to be registered, if you're going to go and take the time to register as a Democrat, let's say, for instance, then why the fuck don't you vote? You know? Why even register? Because there are a lot of registered Democrats that don't vote. Why? And I think the Democratic Party needs to do a better job of getting the message out to their registered voters, to the people that are registered with their party, you know, to get out and vote. And I think it needs to be a 50 state, you know, what do they call it? 50 state solution, 50 state plan. Mad Max says, that sounds good right now. Fancy. Pizza. Oh, yeah. That does sound good. There's also no GVT just announced it. I thought he was looking for an opinion, a talking point, but apparently not. Michael Managers, I always ask myself, what would a good person do? Fancy says, yeah, pizza and cake. I bought this at Albertsons. They had a piece of chocolate cake. The most beautiful chocolate cake you've ever seen. Oh yeah, the most beautiful chocolate cake. Anyhow, it looked yummy, and I couldn't resist it. And it's like a big piece of chocolate cake. And I cut it into 4 pieces. And I've already had 3 pieces of it since yesterday. I'll start on that diet tomorrow. And it's pretty good. It was a pretty good chocolate cake. Big Hook, because they want to convince you the whole world is dog eat dog and you have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. BS and grow up like a libertarian with a miserable existence. Mad Mac, do you use my picture when you ask yourself that question, laughing out loud? I always ask myself, what would a good person do? That's Michael. I was going back because I had to see what Mad Mac was talking about there. Darkly Yours is here. Says, yeah, if you're in a red state, you can just register red and vote against MAGA in the primary. Yeah, that would be a strategy. It's like a strategic vote. WW says, people swing both ways when it comes to politics. They speak out of any side of their mouth. That will make them friends and keep customers. Fancy says, chocolate cake. I know, I love chocolate cake. It's my favorite. Why is this thing moving all the time? How is it moving? Anywho, guys, I think we're almost at 2.5 hours. So I think we'll probably call it to an end here in the next couple minutes. Well, let me just check real quick. I wanted to check because I do also stream on Twitch and on Facebook. Let me just see if by chance anyone's on there, because I did pick up some new followers over on Twitch. I'm up to 11, guys. Now, just like, what, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I think I had 2. I think it was like Jolie and like one other person. And now I've got 11. There's only one person viewing, but I have 11 followers. So that's cool. So we're kind of growing over there on Twitch. Just in case there's anyone, some people prefer Twitch over YouTube. And with this Prism app that I use, I'm able to multi-stream on 3 things. Those are the only 3. I can multi-stream simultaneously on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So that's why I have it on there. And there's Jolie saying hi, I guess. Hello, Jolie, over there on Twitch. But we're up to 11 followers, and that's kind of cool. I mean, because I really don't do much on Twitch because I don't really understand Twitch. I don't feel like I can spend a lot of time on all these different things. So to go from like 2 to 11 in like a week or 2, I think that's pretty cool. So thank you to the Twitch followers over there. If you do like Twitch better, you can go over there and watch, and you can like and I guess subscribe or follow, and you could share the show over there too. And then let me just check out Facebook real quick. Let's see what's going on with Facebook. Facebook is it's a weird one because I don't really understand it. I've been on Facebook longer than anything. And for some reason, it seems like no one ever watches this either. So over here on Facebook, there's one follower. That's probably Jolie, because Jolie moderates everything, And there's Jolie. And Jolie says hi. And it's kind of weird, but it does get some views, like maybe in the, how it restreams, or like a replay or whatever. I mean, sometimes I'll look on there and it'll say like we got 9 impressions or 15 impressions or whatever. I'm trying to see how do you see the comments? So I don't like Facebook because it's hard to see. It says swipe left to reveal comments and reactions. So here it is. Here I see Jolie and me. I thought there was something else, but I guess that's it. So, but anyhow, it's working. It's on there, but I still prefer YouTube. Seems like YouTube works the best. I guess we're still going. Okay, so it's kind of a weird thing. Jeff Curry says they are missing out on flashlight up the ass. I guess we're talking about maybe maggots or something. I don't know. I did skip down here. Good if I tries. Oh, good job, sir. My point is, you people believe what people say, then get upset. Oh. This is way back. Yeah, whenever I go and I come back, it jumps the chat to way back. Okay, so Fancy says Facebook always has loading problems for me. Robert Proponent says, okay, Fancy, use Google Password Manager and it will show you your Amazon password. Hey, there's Blaze Red's Gaming Channel. Oh, hey, thanks for coming back. Blaze Red's Gaming Channel says, with me, I sometimes go to Twitch. However, I'm not much of a live streamer because I mostly do no commentary playthroughs on my channel. Mad Max Slava Ukraini. Fancy says, there you go, making me work. Blaze Red's Gaming Channel, YouTube channel, that is. WW had edema for 5 years. Hey, there's Donna O saying hi. Just popping in as we're about ready to probably end the show. But thanks for coming here, Donna O. Good to see you. So anyhow, today's Tuesday, right? So we'll be back Thursday. Now, I don't know. I want to start my 10,000 steps a day for 30 days on the Vegas Strip. I'm going to be doing that. I was thinking about maybe starting it tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure when I'm going to start it. Maybe tomorrow. I'm just trying to think when's a good time. If I should start it tomorrow or just wait till next week. It'll be April. Maybe that'll be an April thing. Maybe on April Fool's Day. Yeah, maybe I'll just start on April. I think, is that Monday or Tuesday? I guess, whenever the first is. So look for that. I guess I'll just be doing that on this channel. I'm thinking about starting another channel, but I don't have to do that anytime. I can do that anytime. But if you do see, make sure you hit that notification button or whatever, that bell. Hit the bell, because I might be doing different for that. It's going to be different times. Like our normal time where we can sit down here and we shoot the shit is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then I like to do a Thursday at 3 p.m. And I might be doing some of those walks maybe at that time too. And then Saturdays I like to do the 11 right after Hal. And I might do a walk on that too. Maybe I'll use that time to do one of the walks. And I'm going to try to do those 30 days as consecutively as possible. But there might be some days here and there where I might have to skip if something comes up. So it's not necessarily going to be 30 days exactly in a row, but as close as I can. So I'm going to do the 30 days. It's not really a challenge or anything like that. It's just something to do, something to get me off my ass a little bit, get some little bit of exercise in, and also be walking along the Las Vegas Strip, which is a cool thing. People like it. It's interesting to look at, and if you're not from around here, and if you don't come here very often, or you've never come here, it's kind of a cool thing to see. It gives you an opportunity to at least, see the Strip, and it'll probably be mostly at daytime. I was thinking about maybe doing some nighttime ones too, because it is kind of cool to see it at night when it's all lit up. But most of it will probably be in the daytime. But so look for that. We can hang out on the Strip. I'll be walking, get my 10,000 steps in. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start at the welcome sign, if you guys know what that is. But because the Strip, basically, the Las Vegas Strip, is nowadays the portion of Las Vegas Boulevard. And it's basically starts at the welcome sign and goes all the way to Sahara Avenue, I guess it is, or Sahara Drive or Sahara Road, whatever it is, but it's Sahara. And that's where the Sahara Hotel is and Las Vegas Boulevard. That's the Strip. So I'm going to walk kind of section by section every day, get my 10,000 steps in along the Strip. And probably what I'll do is, in some cases, depending on where I park, because as I get further down the Strip, I'll be parking in different places. But I'll probably go like 5,000 steps and then turn around and do the 5,000, cross the street and go back the other direction. And then we'll just see how it works out. And then I have a feeling at 30 days, I'm probably going to be running out of Strip. So then I might just continue down Las Vegas Boulevard all the way to Fremont Street and then maybe walk Fremont Street or something like that. Because I really have a feeling for 30 days, it's not going to take me 30 days to go down the whole Strip. It's probably only going to take 10 days, maybe? I don't know. To do 10,000 steps at a time. And actually, it's just a few blocks. It might just be a few days. I don't know. It might be 5 or 6 days. So then what am I going to do for the other 25 days or whatever it is? I guess I could just keep walking the Strip over and over again. Because, it's kind of a thing where, you might have missed something on one day, then you'll see it. Or I might be filming a different angle, or it might be maybe a different time of day. It all looks different at different times of day. So anyhow, we'll figure that out. But look forward to that, or look for that. I'll be doing that, and then plus I'm going to still do these regular times: Tuesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time; Thursday, 3 p.m., and 11 on Saturday. Everything's Pacific time, so adjust accordingly. I noticed that we didn't have Surrender Monkey in here today. I think he may have unsubbed me or something, because I got a little short with him because the way he was talking at the Bruce concert about being worried about me filming it. And I told him, don't worry about it. It's not your fucking problem. And I haven't heard from that guy since, so whatever. And I haven't, I don't know what you guys are talking about now, in the chat. But Jolie said, you guys, Jolie's laughing. I don't know what you guys did. You did something funny. You made Jolie laugh. Maybe it was about Jeff Curry wearing Burger King underwear, home of the Whopper. Fancy, you should go up to that dam. That's Hoover Dam. And that might be interesting. It's not on the Strip. I'm just trying to think, like, you could walk around like the top of the dam. You couldn't go like into the dam. I don't think you could live stream because there would be no signal in there, I don't think. But I guess if you're walking like the top of the dam and you could look out and see Lake Mead and something like that. But that's like that's a whole different thing. I mean, that would be what would be good if I had a separate channel where I'm just doing videos all around Vegas and even up into Boulder City and up at Hoover Dam. I could go out to Red Rock Canyon, do some hiking in Red Rock Canyon. I could go up to Summerlin. I could go even up to Mount Charleston. There's lots of things to do and see here. So if I had a whole separate channel, or I guess I don't really need a separate channel. I can still do it on this channel, I guess. But that would be separate than this 10,000 steps a day on the Vegas Strip. I guess for this, I'll just do that, and then I can do other videos later on at places like Hoover Dam or whatever. But that's a good idea. Hoover Dam would be interesting, but I just wouldn't be able to do anything like, because there is a deal where you can go in an elevator that goes down into the dam, and I did that a long time ago when I was a little kid with my folks. So I remember you go into the actual dam, it goes down like 100 stories or whatever it is, and then you're down in the pump room and you see all the big, the big pumps and the big motors and stuff. It's really interesting. I just don't think you could live stream there because I don't think you would get a signal inside once in the elevator going down, I think you would lose a signal. And then once you got into that pump room, it's probably not much of a signal in it because you're down in the basically the Grand Canyon, But the top part, it would be like where because you can walk along the top of the dam and you can look at the lake and everything. And that you could probably do it from there, maybe. Anyhow, I don't know. Big Hook, Dick measuring on Trucker John, poor Jolie. Is that what we're reduced to? Bad Max says 10,000 steps took me about 40 minutes yesterday. That's a good goal, TJ. Well done, laddie. Yeah, 10,000 steps. I was wondering if I could do that. I could probably do that in less than an hour. That's why I was thinking I might do some of those, some of the Thursday, the 3 p.m. shows that I like to do, the sort of the House Sparks pre-show warm-ups. I was thinking I might do, on those days, do the walk at that time, and I could do it I think I could do that in less than an hour. So anyhow, yeah, we'll do that, because how can an overtall truck take out an overpass W? Anyhow, we're talking about the overpass now. Joe says you could record it. Yeah, I could do I could record the Hoover Dam thing. Yeah, I could do that, and then do a premiere with live chat. There you go. That's a good idea. See, Jolie, that's why I need you. Got good ideas. Robert Plant. I just called Robert Plant. WWU are talking about Red Rocks in Colorado. Yeah, there's Red Rocks all over. There's Red Rocks, Colorado. There's Red Rocks here in Nevada. There's Red Rocks probably other places. And Mac, we just don't want to see you all sweaty and breathing hard. That's another channel. Yeah, well, I won't be sweating and breathing. I mean, I might be a little out of breath. You might hear me kind of but I'm not gonna get sweaty. Especially that's why I want to do this now before it does get really hot. Right now it's really beautiful out. We're in the 70s. Last week we had a couple of days in the 80s. We're back down in the 70s. I think we're going to get back into the 60s. It's that time of year where we have it kind of swings back and forth between the 60s and the 70s, and we hit 80 and then we go back down again. But so I definitely want to do this now before we get into June, because usually that's sometime in June we'll start getting our 100 degree days. And then that will last through probably at least through in the end of August, and then sometimes into September we'll still have some 100 degree days. But then it starts, going down the other way. So definitely want to get this done in April before we start getting those 100 degree days. But this is the perfect time to do this. So yeah, I think I might be a little out of breath, and hopefully after the end of 30 days, maybe my cardio will be a little bit up. We'll see. We shall see. Let's see. 2106. I just can't live away from the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, I love California. Are you up north? Well, anywhere. California, Oregon, Washington, all great states. But I like California the best. Michael McAndrews, I've been in that elevator, very tiny. Yeah, I was in it. I don't really remember now because I think I was like, I don't know, 8 or something. But I do remember taking that elevator and then getting down and walking around in the big pump rooms and all that stuff. Big Hook, doesn't the rule of whoever smelt it dealt it apply? I don't know where you guys are at in the conversation. We're getting dick humor and fart humor. So that just shows you. I don't know if Good Vibe Tribes is here still, but yeah, we talk about everything. We talk about politics and voting, and I guess we talk about dick size and farting. Go figure. Robert Papant says, we're in a crazy elevator ride. Take the elevator to the St. Louis Arch. Oh, you know what? I've never done that. I wanted to do that. I've driven by it so many times as a truck driver,
but I was never able to go in and stop and see it. That should be on my bucket list. I need to go see the St. Louis Arch. I can take my Tesla back there. I have unlimited mileage on that thing. Maybe I'll do a little road trip to the St. Louis. I'm not averse to driving. I'm a driver extraordinaire. Oh, you know what, guys? Oh my gosh, there's only 18 left of you watching. I forgot. I completely forgot. On today's ending, the ending thing, the thing when it ends, and it says like, thanks for watching, and the music plays. I tagged on another little thing on there. I completely forgot. I was going to tell people earlier. Darn it, no one's going to watch it. But it's a surprise, I don't know if it's a treat. You guys will probably hate it, but if you watch all the way to the end, and I mean all the way to the end, where's Nick Rich? He loves going to the end. He's probably listening to Diane and whatchamacallit. Darn you, Nick Rich, you should be here. Because at the end of I'm going to go to the thank you page for watching. If you go all the way to the end, I put a special presentation on there of me, yours truly, reenacting with the use of Snapchat filters the very famous scene in the movie A Few Good Men, the courtroom scene between Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. I play all the parts. If you stay on, you will watch it. Don't leave and watch it later. No, stay on. You got to watch it all the way to the end, and you'll be treated to the performance of a lifetime by Imwa. All right. So with that, and I suggest, you've got a few minutes there before it comes on. I suggest everyone start stretching. Stretch out, man. You want to get stretched out because, believe you me, you do not want to pull a hammy. You don't. You really don't. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thought it was about time that I show everyone my real, true self. Trucker John is a monkey. There's a taco cat on the dashboard.
Colonel Jessup.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to them.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
And you can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls. And those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago, and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want the truth because deep down, in places that you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I'd rather that you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand the post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to.
Did you order the code red?
I did the job.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did!